What a great venue, Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Let's check in downstairs before kickoff with Shannon Spake.
Hey there, Tom. So when we met with Matt Patricia on Friday, I flat out asked him if, given his defensive background, if he got a little more charged up preparing for this Rams offense. He downplayed it a little bit and said he's always charged up, but you could certainly sense a different energy in the room. He did say the key for his guys have a short memory. He said the Rams are going to take their shots, they're going to make their shots. We just have to make sure one shot doesn't turn into two shots, Tom.
Yeah, the other thing he told us, Shannon, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a lot of tricks and you have to be patient on defense.
Two of the youngest head coaches in all the league. McVay is the youngest, and what a year again. After a division championship a season ago, his first year as head coach of the Rams, and Matt Patricia leaving New England his first year in Detroit. Lions won the toss, deferred to getting the ball in the second half, so Sam Martin spins it away. And 7 yards in the end zone. Cooper will take a knee. So we'll get a look at this incredible offensive team led by the 24-year-old Marin, California native Jared Goff. Rams took him #1 ahead of Carson Wentz in the 2016 draft. He lost his first 7 starts, but look what he has done on the road going back to the beginning of last year.
Yeah, he's just gotten better and better every year. And talking with Sean McVay, the one area that he's really good and nobody talks about, he's a mentally tough kid, and you need that at the quarterback position.
So many weapons, and it starts with this guy right here, Gurley. Short gain, and that's where Detroit has improved significantly, is against the run. We'll talk more about that later, but I mean, you talk about weapons. The #2 overall offense, these Rams. Whitworth, a perennial Pro Bowl left tackle, came over from the Bengals. What a pickup he's turned out to be. And of course, a chance today for both Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods to reach 1,000 receiving yards on the year. Play action, and down the middle, there is Brandon Cooks for a first down to the 39-yard line.
So you're going to see this play about 15 times today. They're going to max protect, get 2 guys out, and they're going to allow Gurley to sneak out late as any type of safety valve. But that gives them all kinds of time and room to maneuver because of max protection, so Goff can sit back there deep and let the routes develop downfield because of the protection that he receives. This guy has to be a factor today. Ziggy Ansah.
Goff looking around, and no chance to connect with Cooks. He was under pressure for the first time today. That time from Devon Kennard. And we talked about this run defense. I mean, it was just a wide open hole after hole after hole that all of a sudden things are tightening up.
Yeah, you bring Damon Harrison in the last 3 games, they've allowed a total of 138 yards. Everybody's starting to get it, and plus the linebackers, I think, have played great as a group this year. And I really think Devon Kennard, you see the secondary, has been their most consistent player all year.
He leads the team in sacks. He's had an outstanding season coming over from the Giants. Second down and 10. And incomplete. Woods looking for a flag that does not come, and now one does. And that was about 10 yards behind the receiver, and it's going to go against the Lions.
Pass interference, defense #23. Automatic first down.
That's our Pro Bowl corner, Darius Slay.
So the decision that he's made, Matt Patricia, is going to put Slay on Woods right here. Ford's going to have help on Cooks over the top. And let's see where the pass interference. Man. You know, I guess if you're 10-1, you're getting that.
Gurley is met head on immediately, and that's the difference maker in this defense that Chris mentioned a moment ago. Damon Harrison Sr.
Yeah, you talk about Damon, Snacks as they like to call him, but also watch number 52. He's going to be a running back. He's going to see an open hole. He's going to explode as he beats Sullivan, who couldn't get to the second level and get an open field tackle. Christian Jones, another nice addition that Bob Quinn brought over from the Chicago Bears. Really solid player, and the group is playing better and better at linebacker. Much better than they played at the beginning of the year.
Boy. No kidding. Second down and 11. Crossing pattern, and that's Tooks, and he'll be dragged down 3-4 yards shy of a first down by Quandre Diggs.
You talk about the success of this passing game, how explosive it is. And I know people talk about it all the time, but this offensive line has been healthy all year. And they are, I think, the best in the business at pass protection. You let Goff sit back there and survey the field without getting pressure, you're not going to stop him. And that's why I talked to Patricia about this defense has to be patient.
Malcolm Brown is checked into the backfield. Goff will throw incomplete. Had an eye on his tight end, Gerald Everett. But the Rams on their opening drive will punt it away, so that's an early win for the Lions on defense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Here's Everett working on Diggs. Let's see how Diggs does it, see? Not going for the double move. A little bit of a contact right there disrupts the timing of the route downfield. That's what you have to do when you have an offense and their edge players, outside players, attack downfield. Get your hands on them, make them readjust and re-step. You got a chance.
Rams have only punted 29 times the entire year. Imagine that in 11 games. And one of the best in the business is Heckard. And outstanding special teams coverage by the longtime Packers Sam Shields, and he's shaken up after batting that ball down where it's down at the 2. 30-year-old Highland Park, Texas native Matthew Stafford been blessed with an incredible right arm and extraordinary durability. Today makes his 124th consecutive start. He's throwing for a higher percentage than at any point in his career, but he's also thrown as many interceptions this season as he's thrown all year in each of the last 2. And this is LeGarrette Blount coming off an excellent game. 88 rushing yards against Chicago on Thanksgiving, playing in place of the injured Kerryon Johnson.
I think an offense that struggled, you know, Marvin Jones Jr., the wide receiver. See the offensive line. Rookie Frank Ragnow has played well for a rookie. Jim Bob Cooter taking some heat. Kenny Golladay, the #1 receiver now, with Marvin Jones Jr. out, and of course the trade to the Eagles of Golden Tate.
Second down is a yard, and Blount looking for running room to get that yard, and may have powered his way ahead to move the chains. Got tangled up with LaMarcus Joyner, but Blount's a tough man to bring down. He's big and strong. And this Rams defense, they've got some big-time players, starting with Donald and, of course, the return of Ndamukong Suh.
And then I talked to Wade Phillips, and they're 31st in the league in yards per rush at 5.2. When I played for Wade at Buffalo, we started every meeting on the importance of yards per carry, and the goal was 3.6. But I think one of the reasons why is everything's a pass rush with these guys. When you pass rush every time on a defensive line, you create gaps and seams.
Play action, they're coming after Stafford, and they missed on a chance for a screen that had nothing but daylight in front of Blount. Marcus Peters applying the pressure. Let's check in for the first time. Hello, Carissa Thompson.
Hello, Tom Brenneman. So Bears, Giants, Chase Daniel making a second straight start for Mitchell Trubisky, and this one didn't go well. First pass of the game intercepted by Alec Ogletree. 8 yards for the score. Giants up 7-0. Tom?
Of course, Alec Ogletree was a member of these Rams his entire career until this year.
And that's his second touchdown in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Making an impact. Boy, that was a missed opportunity by the Lions. They had the perfect screen call against the blitz.
Come back the other way. Stafford looking, throws in the middle of the field, and Toilolo, the tight end, is very close and appears to have another first down on this opening possession for the Lions.
So we want to talk about some of the Rams' struggles right here. The play's covered well. Toilolo is coming from the backside, sitting down the zone and finding. Mark Barron has a chance to put him on the ground, and that's a missed tackle in space. Here's going to be Toilolo coming here. He's going to find, look at acting like he's blocking. He's going to be an outlet. Barron, number 26. You got to make that tackle in space. That's a missed tackle. When you look at some of the yardage that the Rams have given up, it's a number of things, and one of them is missed tackles in space.
Ready. Waiting.
Lolo just his 7th catch of the year, and they'll give it to LeGarrette Blount. And he spun down up to the 27-yard line, a gain of 2. And Ndamukong Suh playing here at Ford Field for the first time since he left the Detroit Lions. You hear some of the boos. A #1 pick, #2 overall in 2010. His first 5 years in the league here, 3 times a Pro Bowler. Left as a free agent to Miami, and now in his first year with the Rams.
Well, he just made a great play. He penetrated, beat a double team, was able to get Blount down for a half-yard gain. When he turns it on, he's tough to handle one-on-one.
Hey, alert, alert, track 26. Alert, alert, yes.
Well, again, what a play made by who else? The reigning defensive player of the year, and on his way to winning it again, Aaron Donald.
Well, he's going to be my MVP. If I had a vote, it would be Aaron Donald. Let's talk about all the things he has. First of all, he runs a quick swim move, turning his shoulders, making himself a skinny target. Ragnow throws a whiff, and Aaron Donald's able to close down the line of scrimmage. You talk about a complete football player. That's the guy. 14.5 sacks and devastating as a run defender.
Saw some of those numbers where he is #1 not only in sacks in the NFL, but quarterback pressures, tackles for loss. Great call there. Crossing pattern and the reception made by Ellington. There is a penalty flag behind the line of scrimmage, and Donald saying he got held.
Well, again, even when he doesn't make a play, he impacts the game on every single play. This time by causing a holding penalty. And I'm asked about what makes 99 so good.
Number 77, penalties decline. 4th down.
What makes 99 so good is not only his initial pass rush move, but he has a great counter. Think of it like a boxer. Here's Donald right here. Think of it like a boxer. You know, you throw a jab, then right away the jab gets blocked, then you throw an uppercut. Right there, that was just a good old-fashioned bull rush. At 6'1", his pad level's lower than Ragnow's pad level. Pat Lettle wins a battle every single time. Leverage is your friend, not your enemy.
Well, they were short of the first down, so they declined the penalty. Natson fields at the 28-yard line. Flag comes down. Natson tripped up right at midfield. But we'll see if this one's coming back.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 37. 10-yard penalty. 1st and 10. Timeout.
That takes away a 21-yard return by Natson. Rams with the ball when we come back.
So that's the matchup I was talking about in the open. I love it. You got 2 guys battling brains right here. Offensive guy, defensive guy, Matt Patricia making calls, trying to counter. Now, right here, McVay is all the way down here at the 45-yard line. He stands behind the defense for a reason. He's looking at coverage and he's looking at fronts. Then he calls his plays accordingly to see how a defense adjusts.
Gurley stood up at the 20. Maybe fell forward for a yard. Quiet start for Gurley.
I'm talking about it because, look, Sean calls plays from where a defensive back coach coaches football. Sean calls plays as a player. I used to watch film from a high end zone. You place yourself in that situation, you're able to see the rotation of the coverage, then you're able to communicate that up to 15 seconds on the play clock with your quarterback. That's what you do. Right here, here's the communication. Sean saw something, got on the headset, fix it, Jared. Let's go.
Play action, and Goff steps away from trouble. Dangerous throw, but the catch is made up to the 40-yard line by Robert Woods, a former USC Trojan.
So when you run 20-yard routes, you have to have time to let the route develop downfield. So, Jared, thank your offensive line for great protection. Robert Woods went up and win a 50-50 battle, and once again we see. And Matt said this, and I hated this as a player, Tom. He said, when you play a team or an offense like the Rams, you got to be patient, and you have to understand that They're going to move the football on you. And in your mind, you're saying, no way, man. We're going to go attack, attack, attack. Well, if you attack, 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 the next thing you're down 21-0.
Goff rolling and throws a seed that's caught inside Detroit territory to Josh Reynolds. He's a man in there for Cooper Kupp, who's out for the year with a knee injury.
And you talked to Jared Goff about Josh Reynolds. That's his guy. And Jared said he'd be a starter on every other team. Trusted.
Once more they fake it to Gurley, and now looking for the long ball. It's Woods down the sideline. Contact, but no penalty flag. Excellent coverage by Nevin Lawson.
Let's show you why team routes, why this is a team route, and you have to play, and the danger of Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is going to clear out right here. He's going to take the safety out so he has time to run the wheel route. There goes Brandon Cooks, and look, he takes 3 guys with him, leaving one-on-one coverage with Robert Woods. Nevin Lawson, nice job of staying with him. But that's the danger of Brandon Cooks. When he doesn't get the ball, you have to honor him down the field.
Gurley breaking a tackle, and he has a first down inside the 35, run out of bounds to the 31-yard line. The 24-year-old North Carolinian from Tarboro, NC.
He's something, right? He's the complete package. Jared Davis is going to have a shot at him right here. He goes underneath. If you go underneath and you get outside of your gap, you better make sure you make the tackle. But I got news for you. One hand is not going to bring down the powerful Todd Gurley, the Georgia Bulldog.
He was heartbroken yesterday. The Bulldogs leading all but a minute and a half of that game against Alabama. They come back to Gurley after faking a handoff, and he's got running room. Inside the 15, and Gurley shoved out of bounds to the 14-yard line.
So you know you have a play called when the 4 offensive linemen are in front and they're waiting for people to come over. Watch offensive linemen. They're all going to end up over here, and they're going to be waiting for some defenders to come. Now watch this. Look, they're all sitting there waiting. Can I block somebody? Please, there's nobody in the picture. Blythe is down there on forward. And right now, if I'm keeping a little mental scorecard, Patricia versus McVay, right now McVay's got his number. Now, good thing for the Lions here. They pick up that back line in the end zone. That's your 12th man. So if you want to bring pressures, bring him now.
Rams are going to spend a timeout. That play clock got down to 7, and Sean McVay says, hold on a minute. Well, what a run he has had. 21-6 since he took over this Rams team.
All right, McVay right now has got the lead 2-0 on Matt Patricia, but there's time to get 2 points here. If I was talking to him in that headset, I would say, hey, coach, let's bring a little pressure. Why not? We'll take a shot. Let's take the pressure. Let's bring 8 guys, 9 guys. Let's bring what they have to bring, because they're probably going to run the football here. You got to guess. You got to take educated guesses.
Gurley wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Nice play made there by Sean Robinson, 3rd-year defensive tackle out of Alabama.
Did a beautiful job of splitting a double team. That's the little things. That's one thing this whole defense has improved, is gap integrity, responsibility. Make a play through your responsibility. Don't make a play outside your responsibility. That's how you play good defense.
Somewhat surprising, their red zone offense would have a percentage not even in the top half of the league when you consider the Rams are the 3rd highest scoring team in the league.
And that's a testament to their chunk plays and big plays, right?
Goff all day to throw. Big hit on Reynolds. He bounces off of that hit. And then after delivering the hit, the rookie Mike Ford was able to wrap him up and bring him down.
You know, details. I'm a detail guy. Coaches are detail guys. Big hit. Great. You got a big hit, but you didn't make the tackle. You got a big hit with a missed tackle. He's a young player. He's improved. He's got a bright future. Let's take it to the next level, Ford. Wrap your arms up. Look at no wrap. And Reynolds, being 6'3", 220 pounds, runs right through that. Details.
3rd down and 4, 9th play of this drive. They began back from their own 20. And again, all day to throw. And incomplete in the back of the end zone. Once more looking at Reynolds. So Diggs in coverage.
Bring 8 or drop 8. Bring 3. Snacks Harrison is going to get pressure on Goff. And again, excellent job of coverage. Reynolds had 2 touchdowns last week. Nevin Lawson got away with a hold and a grab right there.
Yep.
I mean, that should be a flag. Let's be honest. You're not allowed to grab a jersey of a wide receiver. They did. They didn't get called, so it ends up being a good play.
Zuerlein inside of 40 is hit on 26 in a row. This is from 24 yards away. Good snap, good hold, and another good kick. All right. So Spielman's adding up the points. Educated guesses. That's what we do when you take the SAT. One of your teammates for many years, Chris Spielman. Some say the greatest runner of all time, Barry Sanders. 10-year career, ran for over 15,000 yards, and in 2004, the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's not even close. That doesn't diminish the greatness of every other great running back in the NFL, but I would say definitely, in my mind, I would put myself in that category. Absolutely. Go.
The Rams with a 3-0 lead, and you know, we saw the Lions earlier this year, and what a change in look and in fortune over a month. You know, after week 8, only 1 game under, 1 game out of first, had Golden Tate hanging around, Marvin Jones Jr. and Kenny Golladay. You know about Tate, traded to Philadelphia. Jones just put on IR this week, and now 4-7, 4 games out of first, and look at some of the numbers offensively since they traded Golden Tate.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big part of their offense. Obviously, Golden Tate, 90 catches a year, plus Kerryon Johnson, their fine rookie running backs on the shelf.
A rare carry for Theo Riddick, who picks up 11 on first down. And let's pick things up from L.A. with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Ravens 6th seed in the AFC. Lamar Jackson making his first career road start. Running the option, keeps this one for himself. 13-yard score. He's got his team up 7-3. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
Been impressive, Lamar Jackson.
I'll tell you what's impressive is running that speed option. The old-fashioned way. No read option. That's speed option.
7, easy, tag 58. 20.
Time for Stafford, and that's Golladay, his first reception, and it's a first down to the Rams' 39-yard line for the second-year Chicago native Kenny Golladay.
Well, Galladay's a tough matchup, and he's getting better and better, and there's more trust with Matthew Stafford. You give him that much room and do not disrupt him at the line of scrimmage, and Joyner has got to be in that area. You got to help over the top. Joyner's got anything underneath. I know this defense. I played in this defense. And you have your eyes back to the quarterback. You better find out where those receivers are, or Stafford gets that kind of time. Golladay untouched. Easy pickings for those two.
24-yard gain. They spotted at the Rams 40, put it in the hands off to the right, and another big gain, this time to Bruce Ellington. They just picked him up 3 weeks ago, and in each of his first 2 games, he's led the team with 6 receptions.
Well, here's the thing. They've been looking for Golden Tate's replacement, right? They tried Brandon Powell. He got hurt. They bring in Bruce Ellington, fast guy. He's their Golden Tate. That's what they're trying to use him as. That's Golden Tate play right there.
Ellington had 29 receptions a season ago, by far his best season in the NFL, and now getting another chance with the Lions. And Stafford flushed out of the pocket, and down he goes. Dante Fowler Jr., who came over to deal a month ago from Jacksonville.
Well, what he's brought to this team is speed off the edge. Right here, he's working on Taylor Decker. Taylor does a good job of pushing him out. And that coverage downfield was much better by the Rams, which allowed Dante Fowler to get the late sack.
You played for Wade Phillips. I think everybody that's ever played for Wade Phillips.
I love playing for him. Great coach, keeps it simple, eliminates thought.
Loss of 3, so it's second down. And is that a reception by Luke Wilson? Yes, it is, to the 25-yard line, and that will more than likely it will be the final play of this opening quarter. So while the Lions have not put points on the board, they're knocking on the door, and they've held the high-flying Rams to a 3 spot in the opening quarter.
I think so far they've weathered the storm, and holding the Rams to 3 is an accomplishment.
That's the end of the opening period in Detroit. 3-0 Rams in front. One of our favorite stops, Ford Field in downtown Detroit, Michigan. Not only the stadium itself, great crowd, and they're always playing that old Motown music.
Yeah. Well, and Detroit's a football city. I mean, you can put whatever it is, 65,000 in here. You can put 100,000 in Ann Arbor. You can put 90,000 in East Lansing. Michigan's a football state. Detroit, Metro Detroit's a football city. And they need a winner somewhere.
That's coming from an Ohio State guy. Wow.
That's the truth.
Michigan man, you all of a sudden are. Third down, and they will convert. And that is Ellington inside the 15, right at the 15.
Well, one thing I've noticed is Stafford is sharp, right? And Ellington, this is his 3rd game with the Detroit Lions, and he's finding a groove. Nice job by Tololo to set up a pick, getting Roby Coleman behind him, hesitating, and Ellington shows his quickness on a good break and a nice delivered ball by Matthew Stafford. Joe Dahl in at fullback. Nick Bellores hurt the normal fullback, so they put a guard back there at the fullback position.
And they'll pitch it to Zach Zenner. And he is shoved out of bounds at the 8-yard line. A nice pickup of 7 yards for the former star out of South Dakota State, Zach Zenner.
Yeah, I got to correct myself. That's actually Luke Wilson that was playing the fullback position. So they're trying to find a lead blocker back there. And Luke Wilson does an outstanding job of getting downfield. And as a defender, what you want to do is not let that lead blocker get his shoulders turned to downfield.
Well, now they have that extra offensive lineman in the fullback position, Joe Dahl.
There he is.
They play this drive. They'll give it to LeGarrette Blount. Oh, boy, did he take a hit. And Ndamukong Suh, it looked like, was the one who just basically smashed an offensive lineman into LeGarrette Blount.
I mean, you know what? There's a lot of ways to make a tackle, and there's only a few guys in this league, and a couple of them are playing in this game with Harrison and Suh. When you can actually make a tackle with an offensive lineman, that's stout. I mean, that's strong. And when he turns it on, really, he's tough to block. Sometimes he might take a play off here or there.
They're down at 2, and they try to trick him, and they didn't fool anybody. That's Fowler on the hit. And, boy, they had a 2nd and 2, they had a 3rd and 2, and now they're going to have to kick a field goal.
Well, again, they're trying to get the ball to Ellington in space. Good read by Dante Fowler. And you just got to be careful because he's going to throw a form right to the head. And I get it. And that's a penalty. And you can't do that. And one way to avoid it, and I'm going to preach it until people tell me to stop or I get fired. Wrap your arms up. Avoid penalties, please.
Well, you're knocking on that door on a semi-weekly basis. The field goal is good from 28 yards out. Just keep working at it. 3-3. Matthew Stafford. Sam Castle, the backup quarterback, alongside the play caller, Jim Bob Cooter.
Matt Castle offers a lot of help to Matthew Stafford, another sets of veterans' eyes, and I love what Jim Bob Cooter's game plan is. Basically play action and run the football and punch the Rams right in the mouth. Remember, they're 31st in the league in yards per carry against.
This will be Pharoh Cooper from the goal line, trying to turn the corner, and a nice return up across the 25 for Cooper. Greatest Show 2.0. How about the Rams in 18 against that 1999 team, headed up, of course, by Kurt Warner. They won the Super Bowl. They're scoring more points in that team, more yards per game. Not quite blowing teams out like that team, but they're scoring a ton.
Yeah, and that Rams offense was tremendous. Obviously, Kurt Warner leading the way. But I do believe the offensive rules, I hope you'd agree with me on this, the rules of the game have helped this offense excel even more.
Malcolm Brown checking in for Gurley. And a couple of big hits, but again, missing tackles. We'll get back to that as we'll check in for the first time with Kurt Menefee.
All right, Tom. Christian McCaffrey, remember he had 100 rushing and receiving last week? He has 81 yards through one quarter. Early in the second quarter, his touchdown. The only thing Carolina's mustered so far is they're down by a field goal at Tampa.
You know one of my few passions around Christmas time? Rapping. I love to rap. So I would like to put that rapping passion down there, please, because that's 8 yards. It should be 2-yard gain. And the Rams offense doesn't need any help, by the way, if you're a Detroit Lion.
I could see you set up in your own drafts room this time of year. They give it to Brown again. He's denied first down yardage. Third down coming up. Shannon?
Well, Tom, I was standing inches from this Rams offense as they were getting ready to retake the field. The only analogy that I can use is that they were like racehorses waiting for that gate to drop. I mean, so much energy. Had Todd Gurley walking back and forth, Woods pacing. You had Cooks jumping up and down. They could not wait to retake this field. Spielman, I know you probably know what that feels like, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this you're a pro. And just on that, Shannon, people might think the Lions have packed it in. Practice on Friday, they're energetic, they're engaged, they're embracing the moment, and they're pros. And so far, early this game, they're playing like they want it, and they're playing like a professional football team with pride.
Third down and 2. They give it to Gurley, and he will pick up the first down up to the 37-yard line. Gurley, last year's NFL Offensive Player of the Year, 2-time Pro Bowler. Has already rushed for better than 1,000 yards. Only Ezekiel Elliott has more rushing yards this season than Gurley. Into triple coverage, and it is intercepted. That's Quandre Diggs. And a poor decision. And Goff has not made many bad decisions this year. But there were 3 Lions surrounding Brandon Cooks and an early takeaway.
Mattson is there. Exactly what we practiced. I love it, and I'm happy for you. Now, in my mental mind and my scoreboard, he's saying, hey, Jared, don't throw in the triple coverage. We got guys open besides the deep guy. Right now, the scorecard between McVay and Patricia, 2-2. It's 2-2.
How are you figuring this up? Do you have some kind of system, or?
Instinctively, whatever that means. So look, let's look what happens. Here's what I'm talking about: a triple coverage. Cooks is going to come down here. Reynolds is here. Woods is right here. Be patient. The big plays will come. Sometimes we score a lot of points. Oh, we got to get big play. Got to get big play. There's 3 guys on the guy. You have an outlet over there for a 7-yard gain. You have Robert Woods coming for a 15-yard gain. You don't have to go to Cooks for a 40-yard gain when it's not there. The Lions, I told you, are going to be patient. They're going to give you the underneath routes. Take them.
I don't know if that was a busted play, and Stafford wound up hanging on to the ball. He faked it, or maybe he was planning on giving it to Riddick. Riddick so rarely ever runs the ball.
I think what happens when it is a busted play, and I think Riddick was the one that busted because that's run blocking, so he did not get the ball, and actually excellent focus of Matthew Stafford to keep that ball.
Sure.
And you can tell it was a busted play, and Riddick made the mental error because the offensive line was run blocking.
A 3rd down and 8 for the Lions from their own 27-yard line. Stafford down the middle of the field, and Toy Lolo did not get that head around in time. That should have been a first down.
There's Toilolo right here working on Marquis Christian. Christian does a good job again of getting hands and disrupting the route. Toilolo has to be able to come up with this one. I think the ball's a little late, but because of the contact, and I preach that all the time, when you're playing man, help yourself. because the offense in the passing game, Tom, everything is based on timing. So if you disrupt the timing of the route, the timing of the quarterback is screwed up.
High punt and a fair catch right at the 28-yard line, handled by Natson. And we'll be right back after this from Bose. Well, we've talked so much about this Rams offense. Third highest scoring team, second best overall numbers in the run game and the pass game, both in the top 5 in the league. But only 109 yards on offense so far. More importantly, just 3 points. They'll have a chance to change that now with Gurley on first down. And that's a gain of close to 10, maybe just short of the first down for Gurley.
This is why this is so hard to watch. Watch Havenstein right here, what he does. He's going to pass block. So that tells everybody pass, which creates a hole. See, that's the genius of Sean McVay. Let's have our offensive tackle pass block. And by the way, we're going to run the ball right at that point.
Well, Gurley will get the first down on 2nd and a foot. So does that mean McVay now has more points just by your instinct?
No, that doesn't count as a point. I'll
pretty smart thinking.
I'm going to grade as each series. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. We'll have a scorecard at the end.
We can't wait.
It's all by feel. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Play action. And Goff throws incomplete, but there's a flag down. It was Lawson in coverage of Reynolds.
Yeah, well, he got away with a hold when he tried to throw to Reynolds in the end zone. He's not getting away with a hold.
Holding defense. Number 24. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And so the Lions caught a break in the end zone. And Lawson's right here playing man coverage. And he gets a little jumpy and a little guessy once in a while. Got beat inside. And right there was the grab in the hole. But if you're getting beat deep, like he was, and man, without any safety help, not a bad idea to grab him and hold him. He's vulnerable to the double move.
That's 14 defensive holdings against the Lions this year. That's most in the NFL. Tyler Higbee, the tight end, close to midfield. And let's check in downstairs with Shannon Spink.
Well, Tom, the Rams may be without a little bit more depth at their running back position. Malcolm Brown is questionable with the shoulder injury. Of course, Justin Davis, John Kelly already out of this game. So it'll be Todd Gurley at that back position.
Wow.
And that's it.
That's very, very important for this Rams offense. They love spelling Gurley from time to time. With all the touches, not only running the ball, but catching the ball. Apparently he will not get any more blows today. Inside handoff to Woods. And he has the first down to the 41-yard line. And let's go back to Kurt Menefee.
Well, this week, Devontae Adams says he believes he's the best receiver in football. He's playing like it. This 13-yard reception for a score from Aaron Rodgers, of course. His league-leading 11th of the season. Green Bay in a fight with Arizona, though. 7-0 in the second. Tom?
Goff spins out of trouble, lets it fly, and what a hit, my, oh my, by the man who had the interception a minute ago, Quandre Diggs.
Well, Devon Kennard, we said, I thought he was the Lions. You could make an argument that he's the MVP, the most consistent player. Has a chance to make a play. I mean, this is a really good pass rush. Beats Higbee, has a chance to get him on the ground. Goff doesn't. He knows right where to go with the ball. And Quandre Diggs times it perfectly and keeps his head off of the receiver's head and is able to jar the ball loose. All set up by Devon Kennard. But when you have a shot to get him down on the ground.
Second down and 10. They're coming after. Oh, look at this call. They lay it off to Gurley. And he'll be short of the first down. There is a penalty flag on the play. And this is going to come back. A hold against the Rams.
Holding. Offense. Number 66. 10-yard penalty replay. Second down.
That's Austin Blythe, who's in his first year as a starter since taking over for Jamon Brown.
Jamon Brown now with the Giants. But let's take a look at Austin. Perfect call. Again, they're in a blitz. And they have the screen set up. And you know, every lineman usually does that on some type of screen. We see it every week, team in, team out. Well, they'll grab a guy and just throw him to the ground. Got to be a little bit more disciplined.
Second down at 20. Four-man rush and not much of one. Now the pocket collapses. Another flag comes down and nearly an interception. It's Shed and Lawson right there.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Defense number 93. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, that's a killer right there.
Yeah. Again, they don't need help. That's Deshaun Hand, the rookie. Right here, he's on Blythe. You've got to be able to feel that hand in the guy's face. And again, the Rams don't need help, but that's just a discipline thing. And I get it, it happens. And Deshaun Hand, when that hand, no pun intended, is in the face of the lineman, bring it back down. You're allowed initial. They won't call like a little jab there. He's frustrated because he knows he's calling a pretty good game right now.
Well, that would have been a 3rd and 20.
Yeah.
Instead, it's an automatic first down at the Detroit 47-yard line. 3-3 game, 5:53 to play until halftime. And Gurley off the right side. You know, we were talking with Sean McVay yesterday and Jared Goff. The kind of run offensively that the Rams, the Chiefs, and the Saints have been on of late, I think everybody was stunned the way Dallas completely shut down that New Orleans offense on Thursday night here on Fox. And Sean McVay said, look, we're reminding our team about that.
Oh, and we say it in our meetings every week. I mean, this is the NFL. Crazy things happen.
No question.
And good players. They're great players. They're NFL players. And it's humbling for them, and they can learn lessons from the Saints.
Gurley spun down to the 39. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
So 3rd and 2. So on the defensive side, you're thinking, okay, we have to play man because the Rams will exploit any zone coverage in 3rd and 2. So the key to playing man, are we going to bring pressure with that man? You have to probably bring pressure and trust your guys to make a play with a safety over top for any.
All right, so what are you going to do here?
I'm bringing pressure and playing man. I have to. I'm not going to give them a first down by sitting back in zone. And it looks like they're lining up in man. Now let's see if they bring any type of blitz.
They do, but it's picked up. And that's a completion for a first down to Gerald Everett.
Using his strengths against the smaller Quandre Diggs. Gerald Everett, 2nd round or pick out of the South Alabama, getting better and better. Really good speed guy. Nice route running right there.
He had a 40-yard touchdown, one of his 2 touchdowns in the game. That came in the final 2 minutes in that wild win against Kansas City 2 weeks ago. The most exciting game in the league this year, by far. Gurley with running room. Turns a corner inside the 15 and out of bounds at the 11. This has a chance because of the injury to Malcolm Brown to be a monster game for Gurley.
And why does he have 1,000 yards rushing? One is you're going to see Robert Woods will come into your picture and seal the deal. The Rams take a tremendous amount of pride. See 17 right there on Glover Quinn, sealing that, leaving one-on-one with Slay, and Gurley's just too powerful to run through. But watch Woods right here. This is just beautiful. This is taking pride. Wide receivers blocking downfield equals great opportunities for running backs to have chunk plays.
First down from just outside the 11, and Gurley again inside the 10, and he's to the 8-yard line.
Sean McVay was telling us how he loves that his receivers take pride. Not only, you know, 1, 2, 3, look at me. No, it's 1, 2, 3, look at me on run blocking. It's not just scoring touchdowns and catching passes and being flashy. It's about helping the team, and that's why they're a complete team, run and pass.
Look at that formation. And they'll throw it to Gurley, and that's just a missed throw right there by Goff. Gurley was wide open.
Well, they came out, and the Lions weren't prepared. And that's that hurry out of the huddle. And the reason why they hurry out of the huddle is to confuse you with formation. You have 4 guys and only 2 guys in coverage, right? It's a nice little pick route, and Gurley catches that with his strength. He's in the end zone.
So another important third down. Remember, a penalty kept this drive alive. Rams back in midfield. We're facing a third down and 20. And now the Rams will spend their second timeout of this first half. 2:33 to go in a 3-3 game.
Timeout Detroit, the team's first.
You know, the last time that the Rams were in this situation, the counter to Sean McVay's red zone play calling was that Matt Patricia dropped 8. Okay, so when you drop 8, you assume that the quarterback will have time to throw. So when you're in your zones, down here especially, you turn zone into man coverage.
You were actually lining up in your house at Palatial Estate, somewhere here in the Midwest. We'll keep it quiet. But where you were actually going back to your linebacker days of reacting to this offense, right?
So, I mean, I was excited to do the Rams game for this reason. I went back for the first time in my broadcast career. I watched film like I did as a player. And so I watched it like McVay calls the game. I get behind the defense, high end zone, and here's what I do. I sit here like this, Tom. Run, pass. Hey, brace, pop. You got to slant, slant, slant. Or I call yo-yo, yo-yo, yo-yo. That's on coverage. So I played the game. I wanted to see what it was like to play against this offense as a player. So I transformed myself back in time in my time machine to watch it as a player.
How did you play in that game?
And they're a tough matchup, believe me.
Off to the end zone. And it is a touchdown for Robert Woods. The first touchdown for either team in a game. Comes in the final 2.5 of the opening half.
So it's good on good, right? We got our best. We got our best. We got Slay covering Woods. And I'm going to tell you what, Woods is much improved from when he's at Buffalo. Right here, just does a good job of slow playing it off the line of scrimmage with the burst. Slay with too much room. And Woods just outruns him. And a great job of Goff putting that ball low and away where only his guy can get it.
So when you were watching this, would you have made that play on Woods?
No, I would have made that play on Woods.
I know you. I didn't know why I asked.
Play on Woods. I would have tried to take him out when he came over the middle, though. That's what I would have done.
Going after by Zuerlein is good. All right, Stafford and company with a chance in the final 2.5. Rams have taken a 10-3 lead. Robert Woods getting a chance to come back and play for his hometown team. He started collegiately at USC, and he's just hauled in his 5th receiving touchdown of this season. He has a chance today to have a 1,000-yard receiving season for the first time in his career.
And isn't it, it's almost like justice that he gets the touchdown after that great block he threw springing early on that nice run, that chunk yard run.
Saturday, the MLS champion will be crowned in front of one of the most electric crowds in all the sports. Atlanta United taking on Portland. Coverage begins 7:30 Eastern on Fox, streaming live on the Fox Sports app.
I got to call my boy Rob Stone to get the scouting report. I'll be dialed in on Atlanta and Portland. Stoner will give me the scouting report. He's all over the MLS.
Well, you know, next week we're going to be out west, so, you know, we'll really be dialed in at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
All right, so Lions get the ball to 25, and on first down, cutting it back to the inside is Riddick, and that's a nice pickup on first down. And let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Ravens up 7-3 in Atlanta when Lamar Jackson is sacked. Fumbles. Vic Beasley says thank you very much. Returns this one 74 yards for the score. Falcons up 10-7. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
Those are huge games down the stretch for Baltimore. We've reached a 2-minute warning. 10-3 LA. Well, if the Rams get a win today, it'll be the first time going back to the 70s. Chuck Knox, Ray Malavasi and company winning 7 straight division titles. And for the Lions, a loss today means a 25th straight year without winning a division championship. Hard to believe. They have such great fans here. Rich brought it up earlier. They're going to hand it off on 2nd down and 4.
Man, I'm mad. This is my MVP. Give me all your quarterbacks. I love them. They make all the money. It's why people watch. but I'll take this all day. Look at the quickness right there. The inside move. You see the arm over, turning his shoulders, making himself a small target and being able to plant that foot like a jump cut to make the tackle.
You're right, MVP for Aaron Donald.
Yes. Right? Yeah. Right in. Zone.
Only 2 defensive players have ever been crowned a most valuable player, both in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, LT.
Alan Page and Lawrence Taylor with the Giants.
Yep. In the late, great Sonny Spielman coached Alan Page at Canton Central Catholic High School.
How about that?
Who my dad's first job was given to by John McVay, grandfather of Sean McVay. So there you go. There's the connection. Everything runs through Ohio,
It
Tom.
all comes back to Ohio sooner or later. It really does. I mean, this is game of football. Sean McVay looked no further than Miami of Ohio. And there's a sack by Corey Littleton. What a performer this young man has turned out to be, taking over for Alec Ogletree.
So wait, this is called Saul cover 1. He's got, first of all, coverage on him. Once he sees him block, he then now becomes a blitzer. Wade Phillips 101, and that's on Theo Riddick. Decker had Fowler outside. Riddick makes a mental error. He tries to get back, but Littleton, with great closing speed, is able to finish the deal.
But Chris, if you're a Lions fan, you're 4-7. You got 2 minutes and 38 seconds and 3 timeouts until halftime. Run. Oh, now we're going to throw.
Yeah,
I mean, it's Matthew Stafford out there, right?
Yeah, and I think Matthew Stafford, he lost his weapons. He lost Marvin Jones Jr. He lost Golden Tate. I'm not making excuses. I'm bringing you facts. There's not a vertical threat right now on this team. And they have one vertical threat in Kenny Golladay, who the Rams are taking away. And all you have to do in 2-minute drill is have one underneath, one over the top. The tight ends this year have had 1 reception for 20 yards. A total of 250 yards from the tight end position. The Eagles lead the lead with over 1,100 yards from the tight end position. Now let's see if this is a fumble.
Yeah, it is a fumble by Stafford.
Yeah, this is on Riddick. Corey Littleton does a great job, and I think that's I think that ball was coming loose. Now we're going to see right here. Hey, well, good things happen when you wrap up, and not a. Let's see, holding the ball.
It's tough to tell.
Yeah.
Call on the field is a sack, not a fumble. All right, Dean Blandino, part of our coverage today. How do you see it?
Well, I really see this as forward progress because the quarterback is being driven backward, but they didn't rule that. So now we have to determine, did the ball come loose prior to that right knee hitting the ground there?
I think it's not a fumble, right, Dean? It looked like the right knee, he still had the ball.
I think the right knee is down, or at the very least it should stand.
After reviewing the play, the ruling field has been confirmed down by contact.
Well, you guys are all over your game this week.
I mean,
those have been few and far between with you and Blandino, who agree on everything, seemingly.
Dean's a big leaguer, man. He doesn't miss. You haven't missed yet this year, have you, Dean? Have you missed at all?
Not in your games. I keep the A game for you guys.
All right,
thank you so much. We love having Dean Blandino with us. You kidding me? Well, now all of a sudden, after a timeout, the Rams with 1:45 going to get the football back. And doing a lot of running. And not going very far is JoJo Natson. Halftime coming up here shortly. How about it, Kurt Menefee?
On the forecast for the Visa halftime, Baltimore tries to bring a downpour into Atlanta. The sun is shining down there in Houston, where they will take on the Cleveland Browns over here. And the Broncos get a chilly reception in Cincinnati. Turn up the heat wherever you are. The Visa halftime is next.
Well, it's a beautiful day here in the Heartland, I'll tell you that. It's been very, very cold up until today. Sun shining, temperatures in the upper 40s, lower 50s today.
And this is a big series right now for the Lions. Jared Goff in this offense, minute 33.
Only 2 games this year have the Rams been held under 30. They won both of those games. They beat Green Bay and they beat Denver.
It's tough duty. That's something to say. Hey, you did a good job by holding the team under 30. Wow.
don't have any timeouts, but they're going to come out and sling it around. And that's Brandon Cook, steps out of bounds at the Lions' 42-yard line.
Understand where your help is. Ford has help inside over the top, so he lets him go outside. There's no help. There's a safety inside. Push him to the safety in your help. Play and take away the corner route on his outside shoulder. They understand, and that's Ford again. He's young. He's learning. He's earned his way. He's got play time. Now you have to understand where you are and where your help is.
For that 27-yard reception, you see Brandon Cooks, another 1,000-yard receiving season. 4 of them, and he just turned 25 years old. Goff looks for Cooks again. And a big hit, but another first down to the 30. Clock continues to run. Let's go to Carissa quickly.
Thanks, Tom. Bears hosting the Rams next week. 4th and goal from the 1. Chase Daniel to defensive tackle Akeem Hicks takes it in. Bears leading this one 14-7. Tom.
Refrigerator days.
Gotta love that. Ditka would be a big fan of that. Throw is too tall for Gerald Everett. That'll stop the clock with 58 ticks remaining, already in field goal range. The Rams are thinking about a touchdown.
That's a rare miss by Jared Goff. Except for the mistake of throwing into triple coverage. He's been on his game. And again, Sean McVay told us one of the great strengths of Jared Goff is right in that thing. Not the horns, but his brain and the mental toughness that he has.
Second down and 10. And Goff hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Good thing that ball found its way to the ground before into the arms of Darius Slay.
Good pressure right there by Jared Davis, who's turned into a really good blitzer. Sometimes at times struggles in coverage, but they find a way to use him on this type of delayed blitz. He's running a 3-man game. You have Okora and Deshaun Hand working to one side, and Jared uses it as a basketball pick, plays off of those 2 guys, and is able to get to the legs of Goff and bother the throw.
Just got to look at Sam Shields, who's been such a valuable member of this Rams secondary. Headed back to the locker room, was shaken up earlier, and getting it away in time. On a 3rd down and 10 is Goff. Romeo Okwara, what a nice pickup he's turned out to be. Another one for this Lions defense.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Romeo, he's been solid. He gives good minutes. Ziggy Ansah plays about 20 plays a game. Romeo's playing the other. This is a screen pass. They're going to let him go. But here's the key to this is the closing speed to the quarterback, forcing the early throw so they couldn't set up the screen.
So let's see, this will be a 47-yard field goal try for Zuerlein. He's only missed 2 field goals all year long since getting healthy again. Man, is he good. You got 2 really good kickers in this game today, in Zuerlein and Prater. So a 10-point lead now for the Rams, who lost to the Saints in that game down in New Orleans. Great game. You saw it here on Fox, but the Saints tripped up by now the NFC East leading Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night. It's going to be wild down a stretch here.
And they right now, they're playing for home field, right? That's the big thing for the playoffs. And for the Rams, I think that's very important. They're the Hollywood's team, right? They're the stars.
Well, they have the 2nd easiest schedule among all teams in the NFL the rest of the year. The only team they have left on their schedule with a winning record would be the Chicago Bears. Lions do have 2 timeouts left, and they have a kicker that's more than capable of banging one from 50 plus. So we'll see how this return gets things started for TJ Jones. Nope. Off the crossbar. Let's go downstairs to Shannon.
Tom, talking to Matt Stafford this week, I did ask him who has more pressure in a game like this, the defense to stop what these Rams can do, or the offense to match the points that they can put on the board. And he basically said, hey, it's a team thing. He said, I cannot take the weekend off and leave it all in my defense's hands. So far, the defense has held them to 2 field goals. Now let's see what this offense can do in 43 seconds.
Yeah, well, the problem is, Shannon, this offense isn't capable of scoring with the Rams.
Galladay will be shoved out of bounds up to the 37, so you still have plenty of time here with those 2 timeouts to, at the minimum, get into a field goal range for Prater.
Yeah, Prater tried one and hit one from 59 in warm-ups. He missed from 60. Hit at 59 and missed for 60. What's his career long?
Career long, the longest in the history of the NFL, 64 yards.
Yeah. Let's just watch Donald here. See if he has anything.
Ready.
Stafford, good protection this time. And batted away. Incomplete. Aqib Talib, the first time we've called his name today, back for the first time since a week 3 ankle injury.
Yeah, well, they're excited to get Aqib back. And the one thing they like about him, obviously he's a great player, but his length. He's so big and smart. You see that coming off and playing off of Ellington, getting in the vision where actually I thought that ball should have been caught a little bit behind, but Talib is just feeling his way back, and Wade Phillips was excited that he's going to be a part of their offense, or defense, excuse me.
5-time Pro Bowl player in his first year with the Rams, and false start.
False start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the center of Michigan man.
He's had a nice year. Matt Patricia talked about him in his press conferences early in the week. Dependable, reliable, tough. It's been a good pickup for them.
His brother's a good player too. He's been hurt this year playing in Cincinnati, but an excellent player on the defensive side of the ball. Both start at the University of Michigan. And Riddick out of the backfield, spun down up to the 38-yard line. Clock continues to run, and now a quick timeout. 25 seconds remain. You know, I want to go back to something you've said a couple of times now about, you know, we documented earlier, we were here when they made the trade of Golden Tate, who's been their best offensive player the last number of years. Marvin Jones Jr. now out for the year with a knee injury. But can you go into a game and say, man, we're not going to go after them here? They've been pretty conservative on offense in this game.
So you go into the game understanding the last 5 games you haven't scored more than 20 points. So you have the game plan. What can we do well? The Rams aren't very good at stopping the run, statistically ranked 31st at 5.2 yards per carry. So we have to try to pound the football. Then in the second half, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Matt Patricia doing all kind of tricks. Whatever the tricks may be, receivers, reverses, anything, you have to do something to catch the Rams off guard or try to manufacture points in a crazy way.
We got a third down here, and Stafford steps up and is short on the throw. He took a hit. There's a penalty flag behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're going to hold Aaron Donald again. One thing about Aaron Donald, he gets so many double teams.
71. Penalties decline. 4th down.
He gets so many double teams, Tom, that the other Rams guys got to start winning their one-on-one battles. He's going to get double teamed here by Ragnow and Graham Glasgow. But the problem is he's so quick and he counters that he splits the double team, causing the offensive lineman to hold so his quarterback doesn't get drilled. I mean, there's a lot of great interior defensive linemen. So he's next level. And I'm not taking away from anybody else's greatness. We're claiming that his greatness is the next level greatness.
Going to be down inside the 10-yard line. Well, could Aaron Donald become the 5th defensive lineman to win multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards? How about this list? J.J. Watt, Mean Joe Green, Bruce Smith, the Minister of Defense, Reggie White.
Yeah, all 3 of them were defensive ends. The only other interior guy was that guy, Joe Green, Mean Joe Green, and that's when he played that that like tilted nose. Do you remember that? They used to kind of tilt on a 45-degree angle. Woody Woodenhofer brought that in.
All right, so the Rams on the road. Slowed down on offense by Detroit on defense, but a 10-point lead thanks to Donald and company. All right, our play of the first half presented by DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing. The touchdown pass to Robert Woods. The only touchdown in his game today. We're at halftime in Detroit, Michigan. The visiting LA Rams trying to wrap up a division title, leading 13-3. Let's send it to the gang. Triple coverage, and it is intercepted. That's Quandre Diggs off to the end zone. And it is a touchdown for Robert Woods, the first touchdown for either team in a game. Our game flow brought to you by Progressive. All right, Mr. Spielman. Halftime, 13-3. He's Chris, I'm Tom. Shannon Spake coming up here in a second. Let's start with the Lions. You're down 13-3. What are you saying at halftime?
Well, I think LeGarrette Blount last week, remind yourself that he had 80 yards rushing in the second half. The other thing is, I think if you got a bag of tricks or trick plays or anything, it's time to empty the holsters. You have to get those trick plays out to get some type of rhythm or something going out and to make the Rams defense think about it. But the Rams defense, their run defense has been really solid today, only giving up 3.1 yards per carry when their average on the year is 5.2 yards per carry.
See, the Lions since 2016, when they're trailing at the half, only 2-16. That may come as a surprise to some because they've had so many incredible comebacks late in games led by Stafford.
That's...
All right, let's go downstairs to Shannon Spake.
Chris, you just mentioned this Rams defense. I found it interesting that is the first thing that Sean McVay said to me. He said his defense is playing so well. He not only said it once, in fact, he said it twice. I did ask him about the explosive play offensively and if they need to get that going. He absolutely agreed. I said, is that about separation or decision-making by your quarterback? And he said, we're going to take what the defense gives us, but we definitely have to get that going.
Well, the only turnover that they had, the interception, was something where they didn't take what the defense gave them when Jared Goff threw in the triple coverage.
First down carry to LeGarrette Blount, still on his feet. He is a powerful young man. I say young man for Blount. It's his 9th year in the league. He has had a very, very solid career.
Yeah, and you take a look at LeGarrette Blount, and I referenced him in our little open for the second half. You know, only 8 yards in the first half. So if they can get him established like they did against a very good Chicago Bear defense, then they can get something going, and that helps Matthew Stafford with play action. Because they really don't have a lot of anybody that threatens you or scares you on their edge besides Golladay.
Stafford just 9 of 13 for 87 yards, and that one should have been picked off. That's Troy Hill, and it looked like Golladay turned defender.
Well, this is just a poor read by Matthew Stafford. He threw a pick six because he's going to stare Golladay down the whole time. And quite frankly, Troy Hill ran a route for Golladay. And that's just a bad throw. And that's almost, in my mind, like Matthew Stafford is making up his mind where he's going through the ball without seeing the defense. Got away with one there.
Lions only 1 of 6 on third down in the opening half. Third down and 7 here, and they're coming after Stafford. Good protection, but off the fingertips of Ellington, and it's 3 and out to begin the third quarter for the Lions.
There's no separation created by the Lions wide receivers. And so you remove Golden Tate, you remove Marvin Jones, guys that can separate. There's no separation. Marcus Peters shutting down Ellington here on the close. And if he catches, that's a drop ball. If he catches that, Marcus Peters probably will get that tackle, but that's a missed opportunity.
Sam Martin blasts this punt all the way back to the 17-yard line for Natson. Oh, doctor. Oh, my goodness. You can hear that up on the 5th deck. That's the way Spielman used to hit people. For the Buckeyes, for the Lions, for the Bills, and even the Brownies. Take a look at some of the numbers for this Rams offense in the second half of games.
Yeah, and that's a credit to the coaching staff and all the players of going in and adjusting to what a defense is doing to you. Be able to put 67 ahead of your opponents.
Bring it to Gurley. First down throw is caught. And that'll be Robert Woods up to midfield. Big gain on first down of 25.
Now the details, first of all, excellent play action. Now Woods is working on Slay. Now, everything is good, routes, all that good stuff. But here's when we talk about details. After he catches the ball, watch what he does with the football. See that? He feels pressure coming, covers and protects the football. That's discipline in details, and that's why the Rams are the Rams at 10-1.
Goff is sacked, and the ball is loose, and it looks like the Lions might have it. Goff lost a pair of fumbles in that wild one against Kansas City. One was returned for a touchdown. And it is a fumble, and it does belong to Detroit.
Damon Harrison does a great job of pushing the pocket. You have Eli Harold up there forcing Goff to step in, and there's Harrison making contact, but using his big paw and hand to strip it out of Goff. That's an effort sack right there and a coverage sack by the Lions.
Both Ansah and Harrison trying to find the football. The Lions get it is the bottom line.
Yeah, that's Damon Harrison working on his double team, not giving up on the play, keeps pushing and pushing, is able to find his target and rip it out of there. Tell him what the open guy was. Usually when he's pointing to part of the field, he was open over there.
All right, Stafford on first down. And again, another big hit, but not a tackle that time for Johnson. Big completion to Galladay. And let's go downstairs to Shannon.
So talking to Matt Patricia out of the locker room, I asked him about holding the Rams to just 13 points, and he said, I would have much preferred to hold them to 0 points. He did mention the development of the run game in that first half, certainly looking for those front seven to step up, but Devon Kennard has questionable to return with a hip injury right now, guys.
That's a big one.
Yeah, he's just so valuable to them in pass rush, run defense, coverage. He does it all. Does everything well.
15-yard gain on that completion, and now it's LeGarrette Blount for a couple of yards, but a penalty flag is on the field.
Just to go back, and we talked about the matchup we were talking about, right? McVay versus Patricia.
Yeah, where does that stand now?
It's 4-4 in Chris's world. It's 4-4, even though they're down 13-3.
I don't know if I want to spend a lot of time
60,
there.
10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Last
Tends
out.
to be dark.
4-4. and you know, I'm grading on the curve a little bit, but you know, you hold them to field goals and you have 2 turnovers. That's a pretty good job by Matt Patricia and his defense.
No doubt. All right, 4-4. And if you at home can figure out where Chris's world is keeping the score, how it's keeping the score, please let us know. Or let me know. Stafford down the middle of the field. Toilolo for a first down inside the 20. This guy caught 6 balls all year long. And now a couple of big catches today.
And only the second reception by a tight end over 20 years all year long. Good route by Toilolo, the big fella, setting up a corner route, bending it back into the post, and Matthew Stafford throws him open with a dart. Good things happen when you're able to give Matthew Stafford time to sit back and survey the field. Good job, offensive line.
They bring in Dahl again as a front of the I formation in front of Theo Riddick. Couple of yards on first down for Riddick, and let's go to Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Giants trailing 14-10. Eli Manning tosses to Odell Beckham, who buys some time. And then he finds Russell Shepard wide open for this 49-yard score. Beckham's second passing touchdown for the season. Giants leading this one 17-14. Tom?
G-Men.
Yeah, Odell could do it all. Putting on a show. Loves it. 11-11 to go in the third, and
Fowler running down Blunt from behind.
That's the speed they traded for with Dante Fowler. And this is what he brings. I want to get a little bit more of a pass rush out of him, but this is just pure speed. Ragnow's going to pull around here. Number 77, you leave Fowler on block, but I love the closing speed.
Well, people forget about Fowler. He was a number 3 overall pick in 2015 out of Florida State by Jacksonville, and he shredded his knee during minicamp. Missed the entire year. Had 8 sacks, healthy again last year. And it's caught, and another first down, it appears. This one to Theo Riddick. Yes, it is. 1st and goal to 9.
Yeah, I circled Theo Riddick before the play because once he comes in motion, that gives him advantage to line up behind T.J. Jones working on the linebacker. That's just easy pickings for Matthew Stafford and Theo Riddick. That's a well-designed play by Jim Bob Cooter. You put a linebacker on Theo Riddick, I'm guarantee you I'm going to try to find him and bet on him that he's going to win.
An even 50 catches on the year now for Riddick. That's 4 straight years with 50 or more receptions, and this is Zenner. And he is caught from behind. And that'll be a penalty on Ndamukong Suh. Looked like a horse collar.
For the big fellow that can run. Here comes Suh. Let's Suh if he grabs that. You're right, Tom. Good eyes by you grabbing that nameplate and bringing him down. And again,
personal foul. Defense number 93. Horse collar. Back tackle. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
I think I want to change the horse collar rule. I think if you like fall down and jerk the guy back and you go down, then it should be a penalty. But I want to change the rule. If you just kind of set him down easily, like he did, like a puppy, like he did right there, that shouldn't be a penalty. He should get the lady. He should get the.
Ndamukong Suh put a man down like a puppy.
He should get the Lady Byng trophy for good sportsmanship.
Dante Fowler, the first man there to meet LeGarrette Blount. That was an automatic first down after the penalty by Suh. And that'll be a loss of that's a loss of almost 4 on first down. Lions have to have a touchdown. I mean, I know we have 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, but this team needs a touchdown.
Yeah, you're not going to hang with the Rams with field goals.
Wow. And out of the hands of Riddick after Stafford took a big shot from Aaron Donald.
Yeah, well, that's an Aaron Donald assist because Stafford normally doesn't miss it because it's the same play the other way. But this time he's coming out. Well, we'll look at Aaron Donald here first. Then I want to show the route. Donald again working on Ragnow. Quite really not fair for Ragnow to leave him one-on-one, but Riddick's working on Mark Barron, and because of the pressure, it forces a bad throw and a missed opportunity for the Lions.
I'll go back and see if that wasn't a horse collar.
Yeah. Difference name, he's Donald, not Suh. They look for him as Suh.
And it is a touchdown, a penalty flag to T.J. Jones.
They're going to get T.J. Jones with pass interference. Marcus Peters is giving up the 3rd most yardage in the league by corners. You're going to see T.J. Jones working on Marcus Peters.
Pass interference offense, number 13. 10-yard penalty replay, 3rd down.
And it's a good call. It's a good call. Now, T.J. gets physical early on with Marcus Peters, but again, he pushes off toward the end. That's the right call.
Well, after the penalty by Ndamukong Suh, the Lions had the ball inside the 5-yard line, 1st and goal. Now here they are, 3rd and goal from just inside the 20.
2 missed opportunities to put points and touchdowns on the Rams defense.
Still a fighting chance. They can't get a first down. They'll have to score a touchdown. And they'll do a little draw on a Riddick. And the crowd does not like it.
It's the right call. I mean, what are you going to do, throw Hail Mary into the end zone? No. I think what you do is you try to get this down to a 1-possession game, 1-touchdown game. Yeah.
These fans are angry.
Well, that's fine. You can be angry. Mark Levy had a sign. You just start listening to the fans, just start sitting by the fans. That's not me, everybody. That's Marv Levy, Hall of Fame coach, my guy.
Yeah. You're always jumping on the bandwagon when they put Hall of Fame after somebody's name. Here's a field goal. Good job by the older Martin on a low snap by Muehlbach. And the field goal is good. So the natives are restless in the Motor City. Hey, we were talking about Barry Sanders earlier. How about this guy? The legendary Eric Dickerson, over 2,000 yards from scrimmage in 3 of his 5 years as a Ram. Went to the Hall of Fame in 1999. Probably another one of your guys.
Well, he is my guy. He ran with high knees. He hit me with a knee into the face mask one time. There's onside.
And it's not going to get there. Not going to get 10 yards.
So what do we talk about? All kinds of surprises. I love it. You know, I love the call. But a lack of execution.
So we travel 10 yards.
Yeah.
And now you're giving the Rams the football on your half of the field.
Yeah. But that's the shot you take, and that's a great call, Coach Patricia. That's a great call because they had it.
Prior to the ball going 10 yards, illegal touching of the kick. Kicking team number 47. It'll be 1st and 10, Los Angeles.
You know, and you practice this, and you practice this, and practice this. You got to be able to deliver on game day, and that's a scouting report too, because the end guy on the line of scrimmage bailed early. That's kind of, isn't that kind of the summary of the Lions' year? Man, we had a great call on their own if we executed. Man, we had Theo Riddick wide open in the end zone only if we would have blocked Aaron Donald. Man, we had T.J. Jones catching a touchdown only if he didn't have pass interference. A lot of only ifs this season for the Lions.
They're very much in this game.
Yes, sir.
I mean, despite all those ifs or only ifs, they're down by 7 with great field position after the failed attempt on the onside kick and Gurley for a yard. You know, the amazing thing about that game the Rams had against Kansas City, and that was unquestionably one of the most amazing games that's ever been played in the history of the league. Both teams scoring in the 50s. Rams coming up with 54. The most they've scored under Sean McVay and the most they've scored in a game since 2000. But in that game, Gurley only had 55 rushing yards and just 3 catches. He did not score a single touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, we're using the term great loosely, I see today. Put 100 points of offense up. That's great from an offensive point of view. Great effort by both. Awful game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
That's an awful game by defense. Are you kidding me?
Great game. They were trying hard.
All right. Big 3rd down here. Got to play man. Remember, because of the situation, 3rd and 2. He'll pick you apart if it's zone. You got to get up and press. Take a chance. And this is man beaters when you have bunch coverage because you set natural picks for these guys.
Brandon Cooks in motion. They give it to Gurley. And he's looking for 1st down yardage, and he will be denied at the 30-yard line. So if you're the Rams, are you going to go for it here on 4th down and about 2?
That A-Shot Robinson did a good job. I take points right here.
Yep, they're going to take the points.
Yeah, I think you do have to make it a 2-possession ball game, especially against an offense that has struggled scoring touchdowns. Right?
That's right. Zuerlein missed 5 games this year with a groin injury. He suffered very early in the year. Pro Bowler last season. And this one from 48 is right down the middle. Back to a 10-point game. But a long way to go in Detroit.
You think this guy's done this a million times? Watch this. He's going to get to hold. Now he's going to point to a Detroit line defender running off the field because he thinks there might be 12. the Lions ended up playing with 10 defenders because the guy ran off the field was the 11th defender. But that's just awareness by Hekker, able to point and still make a solid hold. That's a guy that's done that a million times. Excellent, by the way. Good awareness, too, of a guy trying to get off the field.
10-point lead for the Rams. And you'll notice this weekend, NFL players are showcasing their passions beyond just a game, letting their cleats do the talking. Part of My Claws, My Cause, My Cleats, supporting charitable causes through custom design cleats. If you'd like to check it out or bid on special edition cleats, visit MLNFL.com/MyCauseMyCleats.
Tom, I think that it's one of the coolest things the NFL does. It's absolutely one of the coolest things. And I love guys that have passion for their communities.
LeGarrette Blunt up to the 30-yard line. A gain of 5, almost 6 on first down. Here's Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. Giants up 17-14 on the Bears. 4th and goal from the 1. Eli Manning has Odell Beckham Jr. wide open. For that score, Giants leading this one 24-14. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
The Vikings are probably watching that game closely as they go into New England tonight. Face Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Keep the Packers alive.
Bears are at 8-3, sitting atop that division. In Minnesota at 6-4-1. And LeGarrette Blunt, a first down carry up close to the 40-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Shannon.
Well, Tom, you guys already mentioned how Aqib Talib was back in this game for the first time since having ankle surgery in September. He sat out that last defensive series, still on the sideline without his helmet in his hand. The team has assured me there's no further injury. They have him on a snap count. So we'll see how Matthew Stafford tries to test that secondary without Talib out there.
You know, I'm not so sure I've heard a coach talk more highly of a player than Matt Patricia did this week about Aqib Talib. Of course, they were together in New England. Down the middle of the field and wide open. Toilolo, he has more receiving yards in this game already today than he has had all year long combined.
So this is Joe Dahl, right? Every time he's been in, it's been run. Now it's a pass. Little John gets caught up, allowing Toilolo to run straight down the middle of the field. There's a miscommunication. And that's just easy for Matthew Stafford. But that's a great setup by Jim Bob Cooter by running the pass with Joe Dahl lined up at fullback.
Toilolo came into this game with 6 catches for 60 yards. He has 3 catches for 70 yards in this game. And now they're going to try the Odell Beckham play.
Yeah.
Just saw the highlight a minute ago, and Ellington is shaken up on the play.
Well, we told you that in the second half with your Lions, try trick plays. This was all about the pass. And right away, as a defender, if you see a backwards pass to Ellington, you know that somebody's going to sneak down here. And that's Toilolo again coming down and is actually open, but the Rams were so good reacting to the screen look that Ellington never had a chance to get it off. But I love the aggressiveness of Jim Bob Cooter, Matt Patricia with the onside kick. Nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Big rush coming, and he gets it off in time. What a beautiful throw. And an even better catch by Riddick. And he's down to the 11, and here come the Lions again.
So this is automatic with Riddick and Stafford. Because of the matchup, linebacker on Riddick, little juke route, running inside. This is the one they had the touchdown on, but Donald disrupted Stafford's arm. And every time he has Riddick out on a wing or out in a receiver position, he sees a linebacker on him, he's going there. So Wade Phillips needs to help his linebackers who are trying to take Riddick one-on-one in space.
Bring in another extra offensive lineman, and look at this. It is a touchdown to Taylor Decker, who was eligible.
Well, let's see. We've got an onside kick. We've got a double pass. Hey, let's try the old tackle eligible pass by Taylor Decker. Good job of Taylor Decker not getting excited, making sure he looks that ball in before he goes.
And I can assure you, about a 2-hour drive south of here on 75 in Vandalia, Ohio, they're going crazy right now.
It's a great job of Taylor focusing. What a call by Jim Bob Cooter. What a job by Matt Patricia this second half of emptying the barrel. What other tricks do they have up their sleeve?
Going after is good. Taylor Decker, the former Buckeye. His first career touchdown. Smile, young man. Well, Chris, when you're 6'11", 311, even a 5-yard route, suck and win.
I think he's just excited. And how about the bag of tricks, right? We said when you're a team, nothing to lose, you're dangerous. You can start throwing things up in the dirt and they come after you. Surprised the Rams weren't a little alert for that.
Cooper bringing it across the 20-yard line. He brought that thing out from about 5-7 yards from his own end zone, and the Lions are excited. And they're hanging right with one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL, in the Los Angeles Rams, who are trying to button down a back-to-back division title for the first time since the late 70s. And Detroit looking for win number 5 on the year.
Well, listen, this is the Rams' time. On the road, coming off a bye week, coming across country. You want to be one of the best teams in the league, and so far you have been. Now it's time to reinforce that belief. Take back control of this football game.
They put it in the hands of Gurley. An excellent pursuit by Lawson. And how about the big fella Robinson?
He's played well. And the thing about A'Shawn Robinson is this. Like, they were trying to replace him. They were sending strong messages, and he's turned his game up. And guess what? When you bring Damon Harrison into the game, A'Shawn Robinson's game got better. And that's that whole defense is playing at a different level. That's what I talked about at practice. What I saw from this team is enthusiasm. They're engaged, they're energetic, and they're bringing it to Sunday. Now do the Rams respond? Champion teams usually do.
Play action, looking down the field, and it is caught by the tight end, Tyler Higbee.
Boy, read the corner, throw the corner, huh? You're going to have Ford, number 38, off the play action. Here's Higbee right here. See Ford come over? He's got to get depth underneath that. Make them throw the check down, understanding that Goff is reading deep to short, not short to deep.
Last couple of weeks been the first time all year long the Rams are starting to get their tight ends involved in the passing game. Higbee with 9 receptions the last 2 games, and we talked about the monster game for Gerald Everett. 2 touchdowns against Kansas City. First down, Gurley. He's the only back they have left. The other 2 are hurt and inactive, and we're told Malcolm Brown will not return to the game with an injured shoulder, as Shannon told you earlier.
You know, the thing about Goff and McVay, right? Sean gets all kind of credit, as he should. He's the mastermind. He's the genius. I don't think this guy gets enough credit. You know why? Because he's in the guy making the reads. He's making the throws. He's making some of the checks. He's taking the hits. And he deserves as much credit as Sean McVay does for this offense. And I think sometimes he overshadows how good his quarterback is. I'm not taking anything away from McVay, but Goff is pretty darn good now.
Lets it fly, and it's caught by Gurley out of the backfield.
As evidenced by that throw. And this is a hard throw, right? He's from opposite hash to the sidelines on an outright. And that thing's on a rope. Yeah, man, feet, shoulder married to the target. Gurley working one-on-one on Jared Davis on a long throw, right, Tom? Wow. That's a rope. You use him on the Reds next year. Come in and close. You throw a fastball like that.
Tigers could use it.
Yeah.
One more play before the end of this 3rd quarter, and Goff rolling, lofts it down the field at an open target, but missed Reynolds, so there will be one more play. 3 seconds to go.
tell you, the Lions have done an excellent job on play action defense. Goff has 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions on play action. I talked about how I watched film by the Rams by doing it as a did player to look at their play action. Normally, when I watch film, I can get a tell on something. But the Rams are so good at making their run and play action look exactly the same. It's very difficult to determine whether it's coming or not. They're the best in the league at play action.
2nd down and 10, and Gurley will pick up the 3. I still wish I could have seen some video from you in your house this week. Playing linebacker against this Rams defense. And a third 3-point game. Now, Chris, I was washing dishes to save up to buy. That was my first car. But when you were on the cover of a Wheaties box in high school in Massillon, Ohio, this is what you were cruising around in.
I wish. And those are beautiful.
I tell you, it's an incredible museum. If you're ever here in Detroit, you have to go to the Ford Museum. It is incredible.
Let's see if Ziggy Ansah can make a play, right? He's kind of quiet.
It's a very important 3rd down for this Rams offense, leading by 3. Catches made and good enough for a 1st down. Again, it's Woods who's having a big game.
That's the money guy, right? Robert Woods is the money guy. Again, this is bunch. This is create picks and indecision by the secondary right here. Ford tries to jump too far inside. Again, not realizing where the help is. If he stays outside, he's got help inside. All he has to do is stay outside. Then you can double team him up. The inside help was made by the linebacker, Jared Davis, who made the tackle.
Woods now 38 yards short of his first 1,000-yard receiving season. Brandon Cooks has already gone past the 1,000 mark earlier today.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
Let's go back to Carissa Thompson in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Tom. Josh Rosen hands it off to rookie running back Chase Edmonds, who hits the edge, takes this one in from 8 yards out. His 2nd of the day. Upset alert right now. Cardinals got the lead, 17-10 on the road. Tom?
Just not a good vibe coming out of that whole Green Bay situation right now.
No, I think it's Coach McCarthy's last time there.
Goff throws it away on a 1st down and 15.
I'll tell you, the Lions have done a great job of getting pressure with just 3 and 4 guys bothering Jared Goff. And it seems like to me that their pass rush has gotten stronger as the game has gone.
Yes.
Remember how much time Goff had?
Well, they've had a good pass rush really overall this year. They have 32 sacks. Of course, they've gotten a lot of those from their linebacking core. Their leader is Kennard. And we mentioned it, he's hurt. Flag comes down. Gurley the reception, and he's tackled at the 35, 5 yards short of a 1st down. But again, we wait on a flag, and they're going to continue to go the wrong way. Are the Rams.
Goff is yelling at the referee there because he took a shot from Deshaun Hand. It's a little late, too. He might have an argument. I saw it late out of the corner of my eye.
There's 2 fouls on the play. Offensive holding, number 79. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. Those fouls will offset 2nd down.
See what Deshaun Hand, I believe, is in here. Working on Blythe. That ball's gone. Oh, no, that's Ziggy Ansah, who's down at the legs. Oh, right at the knee. And that's what all people fear most when those quarterbacks get that knee taken out.
Well, thankfully, Goff is all right. By the way, Havenstein, who would have been given that penalty, but they offset, so it actually never happened. That would be his first penalty this entire year. Their outstanding right tackle out of Wisconsin. 2nd down and 15 is now 3rd and 15. Goff has really been quiet today. He's missed some open receivers, missed another one there, 16 out of 29.
I'm going to put,
How about a guy fourth in the league in passing yards, 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
I'm going to put that one on, and I agree, that's the numbers, you're right, and he's been a little off, but Pharoh Cooper flat out dropped that ball. He's an NFL receiver, you get two hands on the ball, catch it.
The fan looks a little happier than he did earlier.
Yeah.
Third down, and down goes Goff.
Wow.
Eli Harold, who got off to a big start this year, and he's replacing the injured Kennard, and there he is, now standing and cheering. He's on the bandwagon.
So we're talking about bad level leverage, and this is a flat-out bull rush as he takes Havenstein back in to Goff.
That's my kind of fan.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm with him.
Yeah,
Nothing better than the bandwagon.
Move over. What a stand by the Lions defense.
Oh, and they almost got that punt. Hecker tried to bait the official into believing that he was hit. It was his own man who almost fell into it. Goff. And the Rams stalled. It's a 3-point game in the fourth. Not a lot of frustration this year for Jared Goff. 7 300-yard games, couple of 400-yard games, but in search of answers against this Lions defense, much like the Saints were on Thursday night against the Dallas Cowboys.
It's got that feel, doesn't it?
Now Stafford handing it to LeGarrette Blount, and he breaks it to the outside. Biggest run of the game for LeGarrette Blount all the way to the 44-yard line.
Always somebody is responsible for the outside or contain. We're going to have two Rams get caught inside. LeGarrette Blount is just going to run it outside. You have one gap. You see Ebukam right there getting nosy inside when his responsibility is to force the ball back inside. Ebukam, excuse me.
Of course, he's coming off one of the great games by a defensive player in league history as LeGarrette Blount is slammed down to the 47-yard line. Sampson had that interception return for a touchdown, returned a fumble for a touchdown. Also had a sack in the game. First player since sacks became an official stat in '82, where a defender had 2 touchdowns and also record a sack and an interception.
Now, Wade Phillips said Ebukam had one of the best games that he's ever seen. And Wade's seen a lot of football games.
Second down, and Stafford is sacked by Aaron Donald.
Yeah, it's, you know, MVPs make plays not only in the first quarter but in the fourth quarter when you're in a tight ball game. Again, working on Ragnow, the rookie out of Arkansas, just sets him up and gets that short edge. He's so quick around that corner. His 6'1" frame helps him because he's a small target. And he plays like a 200 or 320-pound guy that's 280 pounds. That's why he's MVP right there.
So now third down and 14. And up to the 46 is Ellington, but it'll be well short of the first down. So the Lions are going to punt it. And while we have a minute, I want to send down one of the great football fans in all of Southern California, Tricia Titleman, the better half of our illustrious producer Mark Titleman, celebrating a birthday today in Southern California. And Tricia, we hope you're having a great day with the kids.
Happy birthday, T-Woman.
Indeed. She likes to be called T-Woman. This one will be punted inside the 17. I don't know if T-Woman's excited for T-Man to come home, but the Rams are hoping to get back to LA with a win. What a difference nearly 2 weeks can make.
Yeah, well, it's time right now for the Rams to establish their offensive dominance. If you want to be the greatest show 2.0, you need to start playing like it. On this series, this defense has been outstanding today.
From their own 15, they fake it to Gurley. They're looking down the field. Great protection and nearly intercepted. Oh, my. Okwara had nothing but pay dirt in front of him if he can come away with a football here.
Yeah, this is the play that they run 10 times a game. They're going to run off Cooks. They're going to come in, bring him out, use Gurley as a check down. Robert Okwara pulls off of his pass rush and gets into coverage. But there's nobody to throw to downfield because of the game planning of Matt Patricia. By the way, my crazy score,
yes,
5-4 right now, Patricia, even though they're down. But a win is worth 2 points. But it's 5-4 right now. That's guys executing a game plan.
Oh my gosh, it nearly happened again. This time Eli Harold.
It's almost like they're in the playbook, right? These guys are just pulling off the rush. They're counting on Eli Harold to get upfield. He comes off of his rush by reading Jared Goff. This is just outstanding discipline by the Lions.
But I tell you what, even though back-to-back near interceptions, it's still a 3rd down and 10. Crowd has really come alive. Great fans here in Detroit. They've gone through some tough years for many years. 3rd and 10. And hit as he throws. And there's the man you were looking for to make a play in Ansah.
Yep. $17 million a year. You need to make a play in the 4th quarter if you're getting $17 million a year. Now it's going to be outside, and Ziggy's going to come all the way around here and look for an open seam right there. Then a closing speed to the ball knocks Goff off balance for a throw into the dirt.
I'm having a hard time understanding that Spielman scoreboard at 5-4 when you're doing this to the Rams. Bruce Ellington waits back on the punt. And a fair catch out of bounds to the 31-yard line. And we're right back after this message from State Farm and Fox. I mean, a couple of chances to take the lead. The first one, Okwara. And the next one, Harold.
Boy, that's going back to my only if theory. If this game doesn't turn out
right,
they're going to have a bunch of only if we would have made that one play at that one time.
That's only the 12th time all year long the Rams offense has gone 3 and out. Fewest in the NFL. The league average, if you're wondering, is 25. Good first down run. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
All right, we'll find out if Kirk Cousins can get the Minnesota Vikings going in America's Game of the Week as he and the Vikings battle Tom Brady and the Patriots. It comes your way when your game is done there, live from New England in just a bit. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
That's a big one. Really big one for Minnesota.
Absolutely. On the road.
Bears are losing 24-17 in the Meadowlands against the Giants. Here is 2nd down and 6. 9:12 to go, and Blunt, who's having another big second half. He ran for 88 yards. You may remember 80 of those on Thanksgiving against Chicago. And now LeGarrette Blunt up to 62 rushing yards today.
Again, you have Big Joe Dahl, an offensive guard, tackle, center. He can play them all. Add another position to his resume. Fullback leading the way for LeGarrette Blunt.
Had the 24-yard run on the last drive. And here we are, 8.5 to go. The Lions with a football, a 1st and 10. From their own 42, they're going to fake the handoff this time. And Stafford is sacked and the ball is loose. And they're still scrambling for the football. Fighting for it at the bottom of that pile. Looks like the Rams might have it.
Well, you can only put 2 guys on him. And we'll see. And if 2 guys can't block him, then this is why he's the MVP. You're going to put 2 guys on him. You've got to be able to handle him with 2 guys, right? Not so fast. Again, with a swim move, getting skinny, splitting a double team, laying out, and going for the strip. Now, there's no game plan that Jim Bob Cooter can draw up. There's no other blocking scheme that Jim Bob Cooter can draw up. Eventually, it comes down to 2 NFL offensive linemen can block 1 NFL defensive lineman, unless it's the MVP of the league in Aaron Donald.
I mean, he's just unbelievable. 27 years young, out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Started collegiately at Pitt. Lions had a chance to draft him the year they took Eric Ebron. And an 8-yard gain on a first down completion to Woods. So my, oh my, how quickly momentum has changed here. And if you're the Lions, you're thinking about a field goal, because if the Rams score a touchdown, you can pretty much phone it in.
Matthew Stafford frustrated. He should be. I mean, you got to be able to double team the guy once in a while. And that's like 2 sacks he's gotten off double teams. Not to mention the pass breakup that he had on Stafford to Riddick.
Early, able to patiently work his way off the line and slither in for the first down.
Now the Rams take your time, and again, as they get up to the line, Gurley can't afford to get hurt, right? Malcolm Brown, so Gurley's doing a lot more work today, doing an outstanding job running hard. Could be vulnerable to play action here, Tom. First down, you got to be alert.
They're just going to give it to Gurley, and he will find the end zone.
I got to show you this block. I just got to show you this block because it's a dominating block on Damon Harrison, a guy that normally doesn't get blocked. Watch this block right here by Blythe. This, you want to talk about a spring? Look at Blythe. Wow. Now, I don't know if Damon slips or not, but the fact is he's ended up on the ground. That's his gap, and Gurley runs untouched into the end zone. Look at it. Hands in, win. Hands are inside. Now let's go with the finish. Thank you.
It's a huge touchdown. And a point after is good. Back to a 10-point game, but still a long ways to go with 6:53. Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive. The Rams have been held to 300 yards of offense. The fewest so far in the game this year. We still have a ways to go. But Aaron Donald, my, oh my. 3 tackles for a loss, forced a fumble, a couple of more sacks. Leads the league in sacks. You say he's the league's most valuable player.
I do, because he dominates everything on, first of all, run game, right? Their swim move. Let's try a bull rush with pressure on Stafford. Again, being able to stick that foot in the ground and come back and make a play. And this is not to mention how many holding calls. He's caused 3 holding calls today. He disrupted a pass to Riddick. That Riddick was wide open in the end zone, forced an underthrow by Stafford, then of course the big sack right there. He's just dominant. That's what he is. So I get all the quarterbacks and all the glamour positions, but there's nobody more dominant than him at his position or on his defensive side of the ball.
Let's go downstairs to Shannon Spake.
Hey, Tom, I saw this great quote from Aaron Donald before this game. He was talking about a cheat code. So I asked him about it pre-game, and he said it's pretty simple. Started working out with my dad when I was 12 years old, and I realized how far I could go when I applied myself. Obviously, he has the physical abilities, but hard work, kiddos, it goes very far.
Yeah, it's not a code how to cheat. That has something to do with like playing Pong or Atari.
Run that by me again. Second down, and the catch is made by Ellington. He is thrown to the deck for a very short gain. Run that by us again now.
The video game, the books about video games,
right?
Cheating.
You're saying that's a gamer term.
The Pong term, not the bong term, the Pong term. Let's get that straight. Atari's making a comeback. Feel it.
Especially the Spielman household, apparently. 3rd down and 8. This is a must-get for the Lions.
Let's watch Sue here, former Lion. Maybe he'll get a sack.
Blitz coming. They pick it up. Stafford lets it fly. to Golladay. He got pulled down. That's a flag. Oh, my gosh. Now it comes in. There is no doubt about it. I mean, LaMarcus Joyner just grabbed his arm and pulled him straight down to the ground. And Stafford is not up yet. Oh, it's not Stafford. I beg your pardon. Rick Wagner, their right tackle. Hopefully Wagner's going to be okay. It's been a nice pickup for these Lions.
And right there, you see LaMarcus Joyner grab the right arm of Golladay.
Defense number 20. Automatic first down, spot of the foul.
And the problem is they had a blitz on. Roby Coleman came in, missed on Stafford, which allowed Golladay to get downfield. And see if we can find out where Wagner, working on Sue, got poked in the eye. Unintentional. Before we all go crazy on what a dirty cheap shot that was. Completely unintentional.
That is a 48-yard penalty, and hopefully Wagner's okay.
Yeah.
3-year starter in Baltimore, came over a year ago, and he has started every game the last 2 years at right tackle.
Huge play for the Lions. They're in the 25. I define this as the red zone. They got to find a way to score quickly. Now, they still have all 3 timeouts left. Only down 10 with a good field goal kicker, so they can walk away here with some points and get it down to a 1-possession game. And the way their defense, for the most part, has been playing well, they get a stop, then that man's offense will have a chance to get back on the field.
Well, we made the comment I did that if the Rams scored a touchdown, they could be in big trouble, but they scored on the very next play.
Yeah.
Leading still 7 minutes to go in this game. And now you get a huge penalty. And the ball rests at the 25-yard line. Riddick still on his feet inside the 20, down to the 19.
What a great job by Frank Ragnow clearing a hole. I mean, this is why he was drafted #1. Improving pass blocker, but watch this run block right here. Watch him move his feet on contact. Coming on the double team, taking Brockers out of the play, creating a big lane for Theo Riddick. That's an outstanding effort by Ragnow. He's had a challenging day handling Aaron Donald. Won that one.
That's the run. They're looking for Ellington and lay it off for him. And he will get very close to a first down. Looks like he got it. Let's go to Carissa Thompson in Los Angeles.
Thanks, Tom. Packers trailing 17-10 when Aaron Rodgers hands it off to Aaron Jones, who takes it in for this 8-yard score. We are all tied up at 17. Tom?
That is a must-win if Green Bay plans on hanging around in a playoff picture. Meanwhile, Marcus Peters shaken up.
It's good news for Rams fans. Talib already nicked this year. Marcus Peters coming in to help on the tackle. And rolled his ankle right there. Boy, you hate seeing those non-contact things.
And you can tell he's hurt.
Yeah.
He has more interceptions than any player in the NFL since he came into the league. I think a lot of people would be surprised by that.
He's got a short memory. He's targeted a lot, giving up yardage, but I'll tell you, by him getting the ball, he's mentally tough. You have to be to play corner in this league.
25 to go. They hand it to Blunt, and look who's there.
Yeah.
Just slings a 250-pound man to the deck.
When you duck your head as a blocker, you're not going to win. Watch the head duck, and he's just going to make him throw a no-hitter. See the head duck? His eyes go to the ground. Ragnow's eyes go to the ground, so he loses sight of his target, and the quickness of Aaron Donald will win that battle every time. Eyes up, head up. It goes for every position on the field, not just tacklers.
Stafford looking around, and now he'll run it. And a flag is down. Well, that was an emphatic throw to the ground of the quarterback by Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Well, he's a runner. He's a runner, so he loses those quarterback protections.
There's 3 fouls on the play. They'll offset. Holding 68. Holding 71. Prior to defensive holding number 32. Offset. Replay. Second down.
Now, people have to understand, and I want to bring in Dean Blandino if we can, but right there, Stafford declares himself as a runner, so now he then loses the protection of the quarterback. I hope I'm correct on that, Dean.
Yeah, he does lose the protection of the quarterback in terms of defenseless player. But still, you do have general unnecessary roughness fouls that would apply, and if you body slam the player, something forcible, that would still be a foul. That was right on the edge, but they let it go.
I want to follow up with Dean about something here real quick. They're going to try a draw that does not fool anybody on a 2nd down and 11. If that same kind of throwdown occurred that we just saw while he's back to pass, that's certainly a penalty, don't you think?
I think it would be, especially if he had already released the pass, and now you slam him down like that, more likely to get called in that situation.
What if it's a running back?
If it's a running back, again, it's going to have to be deemed unnecessary roughness. Is it forcible enough?
Thanks, Dean. Big 3rd down.
3rd down and 12 after the loss of a yard. And a timeout by the Rams with 3:07 to go. Executive producer Ridley Scott. And starring Mark Paul Gosselaar. The Passage comes to Fox in January. Can one girl save humanity? Based on the best-selling trilogy, The Passage. Premieres in January only on Fox.
Well, 3rd down here, the Lions need to passage the football. Take a shot at the end zone. You know, I understand, too, the one thing you don't want, obviously, is a turnover or even a sack. Because sometimes sacks in the red zone, there's some crazy stat about 3rd down sacks in the red zone, how it affects everything, including field goal kickers.
Well, any sack in the red zone. Kyle Shanahan talked about that at length with us one day. Need to get to the 5 for a 1st down. And Stafford is going to throw it back to the end zone. Galladay got the toe down. No, they say it's incomplete.
I believe his left foot was out of bounds. It's a great effort by Matthew Stafford, escaping pressure. Watch the left foot. And out of bounds. That's a great call by the officials. Well done. The right foot never got down. Good effort by Galladay, but right there, 41, Marquis Christian, with his bump of his leg, knocked his feet out of bounds, finishing the play.
Prater from 35 yards. He has not missed a 4th quarter field goal attempt in 3 years. And still hasn't. He's made 28 in a row in the 4th quarter of games. That's a kicker you can count on. So we're back to a 1-possession game with 2:54 to go. I just found it so interesting. We were talking to Sean McVay and Jared Goff. They said they watched a lot of that New Orleans game here on Fox on Thursday Night Football when New Orleans, a team that had scored, 130 points in their 3 prior games, is held to 10. And they said we talked about that as a team when they got back together on Friday.
So the Rams are a great football team. And in order to be a great football team, in order to be a true Super Bowl contender, your offense, I don't care how great it is, evidence New Orleans and the Cowboys today, the Rams and Lions, eventually your defense has to be great. And this is, in my opinion, now I haven't seen all the games, I've seen about 5. This is the best defensive game that the Rams have played. I talked to Wade Phillips about this, and he said in their meetings in bye week, they talked about we have to get better on defense, and they played really well today. Run defense and pass defense.
Well, let's see what they have with 2:54 to go. Lions have all 3 timeouts. Rams believing they're going to try a onside kick here. And they do. That's easily recovered by Blake Countess.
I'm not sure I like that, right? You have all 3 timeouts plus a 2-minute warning. Your defense is playing great all day. That one I don't get. They kicked that one away. Cover down there. They have nobody down there. You can run past the blockers. If you want to do anything, push it really high to try to get some field position. That's too easy. I don't get that. That's the one disagreement I had with Patricia so far today.
Well,
take it away. You got 4 timeouts.
And if they kick another field goal, and they're only about 10 yards away from being in Zerline's neck of the woods anyway. Curious. 2:53 to go. I believe we'll see a heavy dose of Todd Gurley here. No, they hand it to the wide receiver, and nearly that ball squirted out of there. It's the second time they've given it to Woods today on an exact same play.
That's just a little trap play, and they're pretty successful with that. And the timing of this is messed up a little bit because of the motion. Right there, Goff was a little late getting around. Woods did a good job, and this is twice that we've seen. Look at that, right on the hip, almost. We can count that as only if Woods would have fumbled. So we can, if the Rams win this ball game, we can count that up to an only if for the Lions.
Well, for the Rams, trying to go to 11-1, wrap up back-to-back division championships, and they're thinking, of course, about home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs after a second loss by New Orleans. Second down, and Gurley will be denied the first down marker. He got it to the 37, so to bring up 3rd down and 2, and again the Lions will call timeout. Thursday, AFC South rivalry down in Nashville. Marcus Mariota and the Titans trying to keep their playoff hopes alive against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars shut out Indianapolis today.
Wow. It's the NFL.
7:30 Eastern on Fox, the NFL Network, and streaming live on Prime Video.
Big 3rd down here. Lions have been pretty stout on 3rd down. The Rams on the day for 3rd downs. Only batting 40%, 4 for 10. That's a pretty good job by this Lions effort. Now, we'll see if they trust Goff. Everybody thinks you run it with Gurley, but they're such a strong play-action team. That's in the back of my mind if I'm a defender.
They run it to Gurley and gets the first down and more. And Gurley will get to the end zone. He's going to run cross pattern. Look at this. I tell you, we saw him do it earlier this year. This is the single most unselfish superstar player I have ever seen in my life. He did the same thing against the Green Bay Packers earlier this year. When most guys are going to try to pad their stats with a touchdown, look at this by Gurley.
And this is just awareness and understanding. Now watch right here. Just a good job of blocking by that offensive line. Ziggy Ansah gives himself up in the hole, goes to his knees, creating that seam. If we go back to the end zone and you see Gurley understanding the situation in the game will force the Lions to use their timeouts and protecting the football. But it's everybody has a gap. That time Ziggy Ansah got knocked out of his gap, went to his knees, and the explosive Gurley saw the little opening and burst through the hole. Man.
Tell you what, it's just now, you know, the flip side of everything, and there is a flip side to everything.
Yeah.
If for some reason all of a sudden you have a botched exchange and, you know, the Lions come up with a football and have a chance to tie the game, people are going to say, well, shouldn't Gurley just run it in? So, you know, I understand both sides. I think everybody understands both sides.
So you're 23-16, so at the very least you can count on a field goal, at least a field goal attempt that's highly makeable, make it a 2-possession game. So I think it's a smart move. Don't fumble.
Well, Gurley's going to get a chance to pick up a touchdown. This will bring it down to the 2-minute warning. Lions are out of timeouts. But think about so many superstars we see in this day and age celebrating after a sack when their team is down 14, shooting arrows to the sky when they hit a 3-pointer. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with a little entertainment, but this guy right here, this guy's a big leaguer. Great player, smart player, unselfish player. And McVay's happy to have him. 2 minutes away from an 11-1 record. Time permitting, we'll get you some bonus coverage as Arizona's jumped in front of Green Bay 2017. Just under 2 to go there. Our game produced by Mark Titleman, directed by Greg Scopatone, our associate director Alex Olson, and our broadcast associate, Culver City's very own Kyle Wu. Our technical producer, Michael Nathanson. And from Irvine, California, our graphics operator is Christine Lee. We thank Tom Barbary and Scott Snyder up here in the booth. And Gurley, justice is served. He will get into the end zone after all. What a day for Gurley.
Just outstanding surge by that offensive line, who's had quite a day, and Gurley forcing the Lions to use all their timeouts plus the 2-minute. The Rams having enough confidence in their goal line offense to give to Gurley to put this game out of reach in a 2-possession ball game.
Today, the 6th 100-yard rushing game of the season for Gurley. We mentioned he came in behind Ezekiel Elliott for the most rushing yards in the NFL. And of course, he had that 200-yard game, 208 yards against Denver in a tight win earlier this year. The point after good by Zuerlein. And the Rams with a 14-point lead, under 2 to go. And here's Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. So Cardinals Packers tied at 17 when Zane Gonzalez hits this 44-yard field goal to put Arizona up by 3 with just over a minute left. Time permitting, we will get your audience out to that game. Tom?
What was that acronym? TAC.
Yeah. Trust, accountability, commitment. That's the Cardinals.
Steve Wilkes.
Yeah, that's their thing, right? And
they're
playing well. Yeah. Playing well today. Another team not quitting. That's what I love, when teams that are out of it and they're pros, they're playing hard, they go on the road. Everybody tells them you got no shot at beating the Green Bay Packers. They're trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. See A'Shawn Robinson, Jared Davis.
Don't know what's going on down there.
Well,
Davis is unhappy about something, and his teammates are giving it to him. I think Davis threw his helmet. Yep.
No, it's frustrating. Defense played well for 3 3/4 quarters. How's that? And just gap responsibility at the end. Just killed him.
Off the fingertips of center. And the Lions get the ball with 1:51 to go, trailing by 14. Been a tough year for Matthew Stafford. Today, 18 out of 26, 201 yards, a touchdown rather. He's not thrown an interception. He lost a fumble. But for Stafford, you start trading away guys like Golden Tate, and then you lose Marvin Jones Jr., your top 2 receivers. He's gone for the year with an injury. Stafford only 4 touchdown passes in the last 5 weeks. Crossing pattern and batted away.
And you know, we sat down and we talked with Matthew. He understands the fans are frustrated. Everybody's frustrated. People were questioning Matthew Stafford. And believe me, his work ethic doesn't change. His approach doesn't change. And he wants to win as bad as anybody, and he works just as hard to win as anybody. And you know, they have to be able to surround him with some weapons on the edge. That's what they have to do and address.
Well, it's funny, and you know how people will yell and scream about how you had all the offensive weapons in the world for many, many years, and Stafford's had some good players around him now. I mean, we understand that. Right now would be the exception rather than the rule, but of course their defense has been porous for the last number of years. Now all of a sudden Matt Patricia comes in, and as this season has moved forward, this defense is a very, very competitive defense.
Well, and their running game is much improved, and you know, also they're playing without Kerryon Johnson, although LeGarrette Blount certainly will give you everything he has.
Stafford knocked to the deck, and that'll be a personal foul. I think it's Sue, isn't it? Or was it Donald? One or the other, I think, leveled Stafford after
personal
he threw.
Foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 93, 15-yard penalty.
Let's take a look at this, because I'm about ready to take back the Lady Bing trophy from him. Let's watch Sue's up top here. Aaron Donald's getting a lot of sacks today. Once again, beating the double team. Sue pushing. Stafford gets rid of the ball. Now, I mean, that's nothing. You can keep the Bing trophy for now. It's a little push.
That's not a little push.
That's a little
That's a
push.
330-pound guy that can lift 700 pounds.
It's a little push. Stafford's a tough guy. He's proven that over and over again. He understands, too, that results count.
What is that award anyway?
The Lady Bing Trophy. It's a hockey thing. Here, Hockey Town, Red Wings, throwing octopuses on the ice. Octopi, excuse me.
Flag comes down.
Pass interference, defense, number 58. Automatic first down.
I never knew
spot on
you
the
knew
foul.
anything else besides football. I mean, as far as the world of sports is concerned, you're a very well-read man, but I mean, now you're dropping hockey terms on.
Well, I lived here for 8 years, so I was on that Red Wings bandwagon.
Yeah, when they were good, right?
Yeah, Steve Yzerman.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sergei Fedorov.
I remember seeing
Nicholas
you at
Lindstrom, Chris Osgood, Dino Ciccarelli in front of the net, pestering the goalie, whatever that thing he did. I loved it all.
Catch is made, and a flag comes down again. That's Toilolo, who's had a
Holding.
by
Offense
far
number
the best game of
79.
his season, and that'll be
10-yard
coming back.
penalty, replay, first down.
Kenny Wiggins on the hold.
You interested in my final score?
There's no doubt about it.
Sean McVay 7, Matt Patricia 5. McVay outduels Patricia, but that man kept it as close as anybody and provided a blueprint.
Yes, he did.
For future opponents that the Rams may face.
So what do you think he did today? What do you think he did today where if you're an opponent looking ahead, maybe a team in the playoffs when you're playing the Rams, you know, what do you think he did to this offense today to slow him down?
Recognized formation and they played plays. That's what they did, and they did a great job doing it. They played plays.
Now explain to the fan, even a hardcore fan, what you mean by that. Is that comes back across the middle, and that's caught by T.J. Jones to the 32. What does that mean?
So we talk about Moore's almost interception.
Right.
Pulls off of his pass rush. Understand Gurley's a check down if everything's covered. Stops his pass rush. Eli Harold stops his pass rush. Understanding that Goff likes Brandon Cooks in the post. That's why 3 guys are on there, and Quandre Diggs gets an interception. That's playing plays. Nice throw.
And what a day for Toilolo.
Yeah, best production out of their tight ends that they've had.
This guy had 6 catches the entire year. He has 5 catches for 90 yards in the game now.
Only 250. That's 340 on the year for that position.
A lot of timeouts. We're under 30 seconds to go. Stafford lobs it to the end zone incomplete. Here's Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. So Cardinals were up 2017 when Mason Crosby has a chance to tie the game. The 49-yard attempt, no good. His 9th missed kick this year. Packers now 4-7-1. Tom?
Wow. Big win for Steve Wilks. The Cardinals. Well, that's one guy you wouldn't think that would have 9 misses. We were here actually where he missed 5 kicks. Not all field goals, but a couple extra points.
Of course, we did the game earlier this year.
Yeah.
Crosby missed 5 kicks in a game. Incomplete. 18 seconds remain. So the Los Angeles Rams about to win their 2nd consecutive NFC West title. First time they've done that since 7 in a row in the 70s. Jack Youngblood. How about Lawrence McCutcheon?
Yeah.
Vince Ferragamo. But now this new group. Donald, Gurley, Goff and company.
And the best thing about it, they can build on their best defensive performance of the year. And I know that Wade would be excited about that. Wade Phillips, of course.
Sidearm jump ball in the end zone, and that's intercepted. Troy Hill with the interception.
I like the call, and Kenny Golladay stopped a little bit. I believe Stafford's going to throw it to the back pylon. There's Golladay. Here's Hill. He's going to win the jump ball right here. Galladay's going to do a stop route. Stafford thought he was going to continue. And you love the vertical of Troy Hill. Get up and get that. Nice.
So this will be the final play of the game. And the LA Rams have the best record in the NFC. They go to 11-1. Back-to-back division champions for the first time since 78-79. For Chris Spielman, Shannon Spake, our entire crew, Tom Brenneman so long from Detroit, we send you to Los Angeles.